No, Mom, you're not in this.
I know what I'm doing. I've been in a film before.
Go away.
Look, Miss Longlegs, you're no fun. Ellie, she used to have her own apartment and a job right downtown. And Sandy, the other one, my father, he always took to Sandy better than I did.
In this house.
Gabrielle, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
Good.
Thanks for having us.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Let me turn. Hey,
Hey, Laura.
how's my audio?
It's good.
Cool.
Works just fine, thanks.
Cool.
Turn it up a little bit, the volume. I put on a special lens. I put on my on the laptop, I have a wide angle lens. I just felt like for some reason sharing even the wider expanse of my space, it makes it look very big. Meanwhile, I'm in a closet. See, are you guys in in Brooklyn? It's like, or Manhattan, or
Laura's in Brooklyn. I'm in New
Okay.
Haven right now, but I'm moving back to the New
Okay.
York soon in the summer. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're okay. I know where you are. Well, welcome. I'm a little winded. I just came back. I've been doing these like compulsive long walks every day. I'm in the Hudson Valley right now, and I just been getting out, almost like every day practically for these long walks. Just
That's
killing, like losing the COVID extra enormous amount of weight I gained during the last year. But anyway, no, well, you both look great. I like the brick wall. It's really working.
Thank you. Thank you. This is where
It's a good backdrop.
Yeah. Okay, good. I'm like hiding out in my studio. This is the only like plain space.
Hey, how do you guys know the Bonifacios? I noticed I was tinkering around Instagram. They're old friends of mine.
Yeah, we just met them recently.
Oh.
Yeah, we were both in the Catra Film Festival, and we both were at the Finale Awards a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
We met them there.
In person at an award ceremony at a festival?
Very small, very small. Yeah, it wasn't like a full festival thing. It was very pared down, but yeah, there was
Which one?
What's that?
Which festival?
Catra.
How do you spell it?
Katra.
Oh, Catra. Okay, I'm not familiar. But I'll rectify the situation. Did they have a short there? Is that what's going on? Did they have a short?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Matthew still likes to make short films.
You think you should make more features?
No, but it's more typical. You'll find like, the short film is more like the kind of the sort of the calling card, it's sort of like get the groundwork laid out. Like you both have worked on shorts.
Mm-hmm.
And now I think the feature is it's also easier. You can sell a feature, you can distribute a feature, right? It's sort of just more you know, just conventional way to go about. But you know, I also have this guy, his name is Guy Nativ. He's a Israeli born, but he lives in Los Angeles, and he won the Oscar for a short after he had already made like a feature or two, but he keeps coming back to shorts too because he just loves the format, you know.
Yeah, they're fun.
You know, and there's a sense of accomplishment, I assume, like, you know, you get faster sense of gratification and all that.
Definitely,
right?
yeah.
Can keep you working in between features too, meeting people,
Right.
your crew, getting story out there.
Right. Yeah, sure. And also you can create relationships with festivals with shorts, you know, and because a lot of it's not as hard, it's not as challenging to have to get a short into a festival than it is a feature. Features, it's more competitive. Yeah. And also we have in common Monahan, right?
Yeah, that's a friend of a friend.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a big fan of his. But it's nice to meet you both, and glad we were able to finally get this done. Your film, Crossroads of America, is currently on Amazon Prime. We'll show the trailer leading into this conversation so people can get a little bit of a sampling of it. How long when did it go on to Amazon Prime? Was it in the last year?
Yeah, it went on to Amazon Prime in July of 2020. We started the festival circuit in the end of 2019. And then when everything went digital in 2020 and film festivals were postponing, or there was a lot of like back and forth about what do they
Right.
do, we decided to self-distribute on Amazon Prime to get it out to people who were looking for content. There was a huge wave of content happening, and I didn't want to hold back for the festival circuit.
Uh-huh. Sure. I mean, well, you said a lot of festivals were postponing, but a lot of filmmakers were holding on to their films in hopes that, you know, that this would be a lot faster process.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, or a, you know, experience, but it was plain that after a number of months that this was going to be the long haul, especially because of, you know, certain circumstances in our country. I don't want to name names, especially because their name might be on any number of already buildings and other properties around the Northeast anyhow. So hopefully not much longer, but anyhow, that's a different podcast episode. So so you decided to self-distribute, which is, I think, is a good way to go. I think it's important to keep the things moving, and, you know, maybe you agree to move on to the next step, whatever that is, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We had been making this film for 5 years, and so it was
Wow.
poor timing for us and so many other filmmakers that, you know, we finally get it out right when this pandemic hits. But it was never going to be a moneymaker. We never saw the film that way. It's no stars, and we're no stars.
Right. Yeah.
And so it was always a calling card project, always a passion project, and always something for us to prove ourselves to get the next job.
Yeah. Did you ever think about making it as a short? Was that something that you started with, or why are you laughing?
I'll let Gabrielle take that one.
No, you should take this one because it was, I mean, the script was yours.
Yeah, so I wrote the script. It was like an unusual
18-hour series. It was originally as an episodic.
Yeah, exactly. It was many seasons. No, it was actually like an odd, like medium format film, or I should say medium length film. And while we were shooting it, we were doing it in such a documentary style, such this slow burn, that we felt like we really had enough story to fill up an hour 20. And then we went into a second writing phase after principal photography for the surreal dream sequences, which we were able to like really give life and thought to, and put a lot of art behind that.
Mm-hmm. How did you? So you guys had collaborated already, right, on a short or two shorts or something? So you guys knew each other, but where did you meet originally? How did you, Gabrielle?
I guess, right? We met on the short. I think so.
Oh, okay.
And then we also had like a bunch of mutual friends and stuff.
Yeah, right. And it is a culture of helping each other out, especially the New York indie scene.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Are you? Where you guys are from? Gabrielle, are you from Connecticut?
No, I'm actually from New Jersey, South Jersey, outside of Philadelphia.
Sure.
So I lived in
Like
Philly,
Cherry Hill,
near Cherry Hill, a
Mhm.
very small town called Pine Hill.
Pine Hill.
Yeah, a very little rural small town.
Mhm.
But I lived in Philadelphia after that, and then in Brooklyn for 8 years, and then I was up here temporarily doing a grad program. So I'll be back in the New York area this summer.
Well, what school is in New? Never mind. I don't know. There's probably some community college or something up there. Sure, you know, New Haven community. Um, and Laura, where are you from? Where do you?
I'm from Indiana. I'm from Indianapolis, where we shot Crossroads of America. That's my hometown.
Oh, okay. So, yeah. What made you? So was this? I mean, you know, we should just assume that, you know, a script, novel, these things are products of our imagination. But you know, this is a very, very intense film. It's a very dramatic film. You know, and it's about a family that deeply loves each other, but is also damaged.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I'm so glad that comes through, that they love each other.
yeah, well, that's clear. I mean, it's very clear. You know, there's a loyalty there, and as much as there is a lot of pain and stuff, you could see they're sticking together. And you know, I mean, even the little brothers. I don't know the young actor's name, but very realistic. Very realistic. I was very, very impressed with his performance as well, because that just reminds me of like easily a kid at that age who just wants his family to get along, who, you know, and is already developing a rebellious streak, you know, of his own, because he's watched so much fighting and anger, and he feels betrayed by that, you know, because he wants
Yeah.
to be taken care of, right? You know.
he was really great to work with. I mean, he's now, like, I think in California doing the Disney thing. His name's Mitchell Ray.
Not based on this film. That would be nice. We'll just say that's the case. Based on his
he was so mature and so talented.
Right. He put it on his sizzle. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
He should. It's good. He's very good. Everybody's good in this film. And the mom is played by
Kate Tuckerman.
Tuckerman. Yeah, she's fabulous as well. Everybody's very good in this film. How did you come to cast everybody? Was anybody from that area, or I mean, because I'm imagining to get everybody on this budget to a different part of the country would have been more of a difficult situation. So did you cast locally? Is that what you did?
Let Laura answer that. Yeah.
I know, it's a producer question.
Yeah, we did cast locally. Mitchell Ray is a local actor. He had worked with a filmmaker that I knew who was based there, and I had reached out to him. I was like, do you know any kid actors? We weren't having luck with the talent agencies there, which are you know, really small pools, and also have like hobby actors, you know, kids who have done the school.
Oh, right. Or do community theater and that kind of thing.
And Mitchell was like incredibly serious. His mother, Chauncey Ray, is an amazing momager, and she's also very serious. And he actually has a twin sister, Amelia Ray, who's also very serious about acting, and they're both Disney kids.
And it also has a series in the works. Yes, okay.
Exactly. No, they do.
Yeah.
They'll probably take over Hollywood. Chauncey Ray.
Maybe they'll produce your next film. So let's thank them very much for.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm a huge fan of their family, and so we're really lucky to find them. And then our supporting actors as well, Ransom Pugh, Harry Holmes, Blaze Nally, they were also all Indiana-based actors.
What do they think? What is it like? I mean, you know, so many of the snobs I bring on, I'm sorry, filmmakers I bring on, I'm just kidding around. I love my filmmakers, but they, you know, I mean, being in New York there's so many reasons why you do, but there's a lot of filmmakers also that choose either to make films elsewhere or to stay at home. In fact, I know I'm talking to somebody from Nebraska. Anyway, so I'm just wondering, what do the folks like? What's the scale for them of being involved in a project like this?
For our supporting actors?
Yeah, all these Indiana-based actors. Well, like, what do they make of an indie like this, a festival film? You know,
I don't know.
No.
I don't know. I mean, everybody was very professional and polite on set, but I have no idea, like, if they were like, "What is this?"
Well, because I wonder how many films they could possibly be involved with that are have the intention, let's say, like, it's not easy to stay in Indiana if you want to be a filmmaker
I
and to
think
connect
Harry
into
has
the system,
Harry
plug
has
in.
moved. I think Harry might be in California now
Yeah, and
too.
a couple of our crew,
Oh, he went Hollywood.
yeah, we have a few people from the film that went Hollywood that were based in Indiana. Harry Holmes, who was one of our
Really?
actors, and and another a person from set. We hired some students from a close by film school and their TA to be on our crew, and a few of them have ended up in Hollywood.
Hmm. Well, um, well, how many days did you shoot? Like 3 weeks or something?
I wish.
You didn't even have 3 weeks?
We shot the principal
Wow.
photography in 10 days. Is that right, Laura?
Holy
Uh,
moly.
10 days, and then we shot the dream sequences in New York
Right.
later. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, because I guess it's mostly talk scenes, right? It's not. Maybe it wouldn't have been too. I mean, that's an incredibly short amount of time for.
It was.
Yeah, that's sounds very punishing,
Oh yeah.
but a lot
It
of
was
leave.
intense. It was intense.
Yeah, they were like 16-hour days. Our AD was like, "This is not okay." And we're like, "But we have to get the shot."
And then we all go and sleep communally in like this space
My
that your mom found for us. And yeah, it was intense.
dancing.
Okay, let's get into a little bit of it's a very dramatic film. I'm only going to mention as much as is in the description of the film, the kind of the language that's out there, but where Laura, you play Sandy, is that her name?
Yeah.
Sandy, who's the backstory, as we find out going into the beginning of the film, is that she is grappling with an alcohol addiction. She's sober when we meet her, right? Coming off of a very tragic accident that she was responsible for, involving her sister, right, who is injured from being in a car accident. So she's carrying around a little bit of, I don't know, pain or anger, self-directed, it's whatever. But she also has kind of dreams of her own and her own, right? She's trying to get her degree. There's a number of things she's trying to accomplish and grow despite some of the setbacks. So how you say you worked on this film for 5 years. How far back did you write the film? I know you wrote the film as well as star in it.
Yeah, I wrote the film, I think, at like December 2014, and we were in script development until we went into shooting, essentially, which was only about 4 or 5 months. And I had the idea, kind of just came to me in a flash, the idea, and I wanted to write something about two sisters who are on the opposite side of some catastrophic event that divided them, but they were still bonded by love and by sisterhood. I wanted to do something like much more elaborate, having to do with like a prison narrative and like and it was like this much more compacted, intense location. And then I thought, we don't have a prison to use, and I wanted to bring it back to the kitchen table, this idea of the kitchen table where all that drama happens. And so it ended up being this like melodrama inside this tiny house instead, which is itself, I mean, as we all know now, quarantined, is a kind of prison.
Absolutely true. Certainly now it feels far more right to most of us. So this okay, very good. Because I imagine you get asked, since you're playing the part, since you wrote it, since you that oh, was this based on yourself? Is this based on, and because you get really lost in the role. I mean, you're really transformed.
Yeah, it is loosely inspired by my life, by my family dynamic. I grew up with a single mom. I have an older sister. I have a little brother who's much younger. And part of it was ruminating on our relationships to each other, especially when my mother was single and dating. And we were growing into our womanhood, my sister and I. and also what it was like for my little brother to grow up without like a steady paternal figure. Something that is a really big part of the story is that this is a family that doesn't have a paternal figure, and it's just this maternal sort of generational trauma folding in on itself thing that our family is trying to rectify, but do not have the skills to communicate through it. And so something that we talked about while we were in writing development and while we were rehearsing was that it's, in a lot of films, people are talking directly to the thing, especially addiction, or in Sandy's case, she's overcoming abuse. And there's a lot of conversation and stories about this that are directly addressing the thing itself. And that's not how we are in life. We talk around that stuff with like an understanding that it exists. And that was important to us to recreate.
She was abused.
She was. Sandy is abused by her grandfather, and we have indications that perhaps Glenda was too. And even though we have Ellie, who is the sister who has been paralyzed from the waist down because of Sandy's drunk driving mistakes, or mistake of drunk driving in the accident, she has been spared this cycle of abuse and is really just experiencing it with her sister.
Right. It would be a clue into maybe her self-destructive behavior.
Yeah, exactly.
Sandy's self-destructive behavior. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right. And this tremendous amount of guilt because it wasn't intended to be aimed at a family member, you know, but it kind of scares her straight to some degree too, because she sees that even self-destructive behavior isn't in a vacuum. You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It is so much about her holding guilt and being unable to deal with it and still putting it out onto other people.
Yeah.
She doesn't really have this, you know, pardon the phrase, come to Jesus moment until the end of the film. That's what we're working toward.
Where did Gabrielle, where did the film against Crossroads of America, it's currently on Amazon Prime, where did it have its premiere? It did have, I know it's played in a number of festivals. Where did it premiere?
Where would we consider the premiere? Because we had some screenings. Laura, what are we considering the premiere?
Festival.
What are we considering the premiere is such a good question. We premiered it ourselves at Stuart Cinema and Cafe here in Greenpoint. We have.
Where? Which one in Greenpoint?
Stuart Cinema.
Oh, okay. I have heard of that, I think, actually. I never got over there though, but I've spent a fair amount of time in Greenpoint. I guess I was going to ask, oh, well, first of all, did your parent, I guess your family, you previewed it for them maybe? Or did they, wait, have they seen it?
Yeah, my mother and my sister came to the premiere at Stuart Cinema. It was a private event, but it was huge. It exploded. We had so many people there that we didn't even know. So it felt very much like a movie premiere. And they were there for that.
Mm-hmm. Well, what did they think of that?
It was really vulnerable for them. I think they were as exhausted as I was and exhausted as Gabrielle was. We put a lot of emotional energy into this. I mean, you know, we didn't get compensated for this. It was an entire, it was like a lot of love, a lot of heart, a lot of courage from myself. Yeah. But also Gabrielle. Gabrielle really went there with me. And I think my family, my mom and my sister, felt similarly exposed, a little tired. After the premieres, people went out and Gabrielle was like, I'm going home. And I was like, we're also going back to the hotel.
Is that because it was intense? Is that? Yeah. Well, while it's too bad it didn't get more festivals because of the circumstances out of your control anyway, it can be seen very now widely by everybody because we're still inside for a little longer. You've got a few more months probably where staying home and not going into a movie theater is probably the safest behavior. I'm a big proponent of the movie theater, so I'm not discouraging people from going to movie theaters as soon as they open, and they hopefully are setting up movie theaters in a safe fashion, at least until there's a very, very clear indication that we're out of the, out of real trouble. But people should stream the film and watch Crossroads. Why this title, by the way? That's I meant to ask that earlier.
It's the state slogan for Indiana.
Oh wow, such a simple answer. But maybe it's one that only Indianians. How do you what are they?
Yeah.
Hoosiers.
Hoosiers.
I can't explain it.
I should have known that.
Couldn't
Hoosiers.
tell you why.
And maybe neighboring states would be aware of us isolated, New York types.
Yeah, I mean, it's flyover country, who knows? So yeah, Crossroads of America, it's called that because it's got like every major interstate and highway goes through Indianapolis.
Sure.
So it's like a little known fact, but it's a very transient place.
Oh, I bet. I it's one of the few sort of those real proto, American industrial cities that I've never been to. I've been through, as you were suggesting, most people when they go to Indiana are because they're going through it,
Yes.
or that's the experience of many people. I'm not criticizing the state, but it is a city I kind of wanted to get to visit and see. I like those American towns.
Well, it's very flat. That's all I've got to, that's my only warning. If you're expecting rolling hills or mountains or landscape, it's not. It's very, very flat. So it's cool on camera because it's huge skies and
Right.
really beautiful light. And it's not well known. There's a lot of stories-ish in Hollywood and in TV that take place
Right.
in Indiana, but they certainly not shot there. And
They look a lot more like, the outskirts of Toronto, Mississauga or something.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Or it's Atlanta or something.
Atlanta,
But
Atlanta plays Indianapolis. Well, again, it goes because even a bigger budget film still got so much money for locations, right? It's usually the first thing that goes. You can always steal exterior shots. Well, I appreciate it. I'm glad you guys were we were introduced and I got a chance to see it, and you guys were patient and helped make this happen. I hope we can all meet in person real soon. I'm not far from New York. I mean, I come down and my son will be back in Brooklyn very soon, so I have a feeling I'll be making lots of trips again down there soon. So hopefully one of these days we'll have a reason to run into each other.
Yeah, that's great.
All right. Did we get to
us on the show?
Yeah, thank you.
What's that? Oh, it's a pleasure. Sure. Or is there? Did we get kind of everything in, or did I leave anything important out, or anything we wanted to cover or mention?
Up to you.
That's up to you.
Well, sometimes I don't know. As long as I didn't, miss some important fact or thing that otherwise.
I mean, we could talk about the film forever because we so
Well, more important people see it, and like I say, I'll put in the trailer, right? You've got a trailer, right? Of course. I think I probably downloaded already. So I'll put that on, and then as soon as I can, I'm kind of covering some of South by Southwest over the next few days, but then I'll get this out there.
Great, thank you.
My pleasure.
Good to see
All right.
you, G.
yeah, you too.
Bye-bye. Have a great evening.
Thanks, you too.